Okay, I need to pop myself up on a cold one for this one. Because I've just now discovered some pretty interesting news about Spintires Mudrunner here. Let me take a sip of this. Now, for some people, for anybody who, oh my god. Is this gonna be another one of those days where I can't talk? Okay, take another drink, gotta get all nice and fueled up. Shit, okay. So, damn. I might need to cut this out, or I might not, who knows. I might get too bored anyway. So, for some of you watching this might be old news, and for others it might be some pretty new news. And, because for me, I just recently discovered some of the biggest news of this game yet. Spintires Mudrunner is getting a USA expansion. One hell of a curveball from Home Interactive Entertainment. Didn't see that one coming. Yeah, because I mean, it's a big surprise for me because I never expected them to do anything American related because Spintires Mudrunner has always just been about Russian stuff, Russian vehicles, Russian wilderness, even like Russian lifestyle almost. So yeah, USA expansion, someplace I never thought that they would take this game. But now they are doing it. Now, of course, there's no information as far as to what the USA expansion is going to be like, but the only two things that we can really sit down and think about as to what this expansion is going to be like is, of course, the maps and the vehicles. Now, as far as like the maps go, like whenever it comes to America, there's so many different places you can work with because we have so many different environment types. Because, of course, like, the Midwestern areas, that would probably be more or less the woodland area. Probably the more likely location. Did I just drift a little bit? Yes, I did. Yeah, the Midwest, you know, like Missouri, Kansas, Texas, Oklahoma. Well, primarily more or less Missouri because more dense woodlands. And, you know, we've got, like, the Rocky Mountains, which would be another good forestry area. And, hell, you can even go as far as to say that Florida would probably be a good map pick because that's like a whole swampy environment, you know, biome, whatnot. And hell, if they really wanted something pretty cool, probably have like a map located towards the bottom of the Rocky Mountains where it's like all covered in snow and you have pine trees and conifers and whatever the hell they're called. But you know, there's so many different locations to work with in the U.S. because America has some of the most, you know, has the widest range of different terrain types. Because hell, we've got like a tropical area, we got woodlands area, we got desert area. Hell, we even have an Arctic area, which is over by the mountains. Then you got yourself, you know, California, which is kind of like a tropic slash. Well, actually, you know, I guess it just counts as a tropic as well, but. You know, now I kind of skipped over the Grand Canyon because, like, the idea of a desert biome. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna squeeze through here. So yeah, a desert biome. If like, cause going back to whenever I mentioned, if they were to stick true to the roots of it being a logging game and using these big trucks to haul logs around, a desert probably wouldn't be the most suited location for a game style like that because there's no trees to work with, unless of course you just load up a truck full of cactus and drive it somewhere. That's the only way I can see that happening. So that's pretty much my opinion as far as maps go. It's probably gonna remain more towards the Midwestern regions of the U.S. Now, probably the more interesting thing to look at as far as the USA expansion goes would probably be the vehicles, because now they're gonna have to use American-made vehicles. And I cannot squeeze through here. Well, I could try squeezing through there. Screw it. So, as far as American vehicles go, you have to, you know, think about, alright, so now we have to add new 4x4s, 6x6s, and 8x8s. And, I mean, myself, I'm kind of a military vehicle nerd. And I guess if I had to take a couple of wild guesses as to what vehicles are going to be, that they would probably work with, is like, okay, starting with the 4x4s. The first thing that comes to mind immediately when I think of an American military 4x4 is, of course, the Humvee. The Hummer, H1 Alpha, the Humvee, whichever you like to call it, but the Humvee, to say the least. The good old four-door wide body, you know, hatchback or slantback, whichever way you like prefer to say it. The Humvee, which is probably the most well-known military 4x4, you know, around the world. I mean, hell, they're used all over the world. But of course, there's more than one 4x4 in the base game of Spintires Mudrunner now. I mean, of course, we had the little UAZ and then that little rink-a-dink, tiny little 4x4 Jeep that they implemented, that they added with the whole Valley DLC. So if I had to throw out a couple of 4x4 vehicle ideas as far as military goes, it would of course be probably Humvee being number one, and this is all just going by the assumption that they're gonna stick around military vehicles as like the vehicle base of the USA expansion. So of course, number one being the Humvee, and possibly number two, if they wanted to throw in like an old school, kind of like Cold War or like early Cold War era 4x4, they could possibly even throw in the Willys Jeep if they so wanted to. And that's just like a second possibility of another 4x4, and hell, even a third 4x4 class vehicle that you could throw in there is like the Alabama style military, you know, camouflaged Chevy Blazers. I know that's kind of a bit of a wild guess, but hell, I think a lot of people would be very damn happy to have a good old classic square body Chevy Blazer in the base game. I know I would. So those are practically the three only vehicles that I can think of that would possibly be likely assets for the vehicle choices for the 4x4 class. Now, as far as the 6x6s go, the two big name 6x6 military trucks that come to my mind immediately is, of course, number one, the deuce-and-a-half-ton 6-wheel drive. And then the big boy, like the big brother of the deuce and a half, like the M932A2, you know, the 5-ton 6x6. I mean, hell, you just go to Google Images and type in 5-ton 6x6. You'll get pictures of like this bigger version of like a traditional military cargo truck. But of course, in the base game of Spintires and even Spintires Mudrunner, there's a plethora of 6-wheel drive trucks. I mean, hell, go back into the vehicle menu, that seems to be the predominant vehicle style in the base game, is just a bunch of 6x6 trucks. And there's quite a variety of them. There's some that are small, some that are big, and my personal favorite would be this one, the C255, because I've used this truck in practically every map, and I've even tested it out on the Valley map. And it seems like this, you know, the C255 is the best all-around, you know, multi-purpose truck. Am I hung up on a rock? No. Well, and the reason why I say the best all-around is because as far as, like, logging goes, being the primary objective, the C255, in case you didn't know, is the only truck in the base game that can be equipped with the long log cart. And, you know, I guess... Oh, shit, that one's locked. Recover to garage. Yeah, screw it. Now, okay, well, let me just show you real quick, because it seems like I've noticed in YouTube videos it doesn't seem like too many people know about this. Oops. Okay, so you have to equip the log carrier in order to get the long log cart. This carries a, what is it? Six load points. So all you have to really do is just carry, like, or tow a small truck behind you that has like a small log cart, and then you got yourself a full load of lumber. And you can, while driving around the map, if you don't have a load, you can pack it. Same as the base game. That's not what I meant to do. Oh, shut up, phone. I don't care. So yeah, going back to what kind of 6x6s I would think they'd add to the game, aside from the 5-ton, there's really not very many American-style 6x6 trucks that would seem to at least match the, I guess, the era of the base game trucks, you know, all these Russian Soviet-era trucks. A deuce-and-a-half-ton would probably be, the more likely pick for like a more old-school, you know, 6-wheel drive truck as far as American vehicles go. The 5-ton was like constructed like in the late 80s, early 90s, and it's been constructed all throughout the 90s, so it's kind of a later generation truck. But then again, you know, they could do something entirely different with this whole USA expansion. I mean, hell, they can practically do whatever the hell they want, and we don't know about it. We don't know anything about it, and all we can really do is just go by speculation. Now, aside from the 6x6s, we move on to the biggest and final vehicles in the game, the 8x8s. So, the only two American military 8x8s that I can think of that come to my mind straight away is, first off being the HEMTT, the HEMTT, which is like this 8-wheel drive cab over truck that's like a long wheelbase, and it's like very distinctive in the American military vehicle line because it's got like this whole slanted front end that makes it great for great approach angles and descent angles. And just all you gotta do is Google images and you'll find it, just HEMTT 8x8. And as far as like all the different applications that the HEMTT has, which, I mean, they pronounce it the HEMTT, so don't say that I'm just, you know, simplifying it. But the HEMTT, it seems like whenever you look at Google images or just even footage of it, you know, in movies, games, and all that stuff, it seems like the applications that they have, or as far as like equipment goes, it seems like generically the base model truck either comes with like this big long cargo bed or even a flatbed. Other times you'll see them carrying like a big old fuel cistern that's made specifically for that truck. And then that can even be retrofitted to have like a utility, well, not so much a utility, but like a tow truck setup. So the HEMTT would probably be a likely, I mean, in my opinion, a likely guess as to what a possible 8x8 would be. And of course, since the base game has, well, now 3 8x8s, it originally had 2. But I guess my second pick for an 8x8 truck would be the HET, the Oshkosh M1070 HET, HET. And let's see here. It's not exactly like the generic 8x8 you come to see in the game anymore, because it looks more like a big rig that actually has 3 axles in the rear rather than 2. But it's an all-wheel drive truck, so it's still classified as an 8x8. And primarily, as far as its, I guess, configurations go, am I hung up? Yes, I'm hung up. It's primarily used as like a tractor trailer. It's more or less meant to be a hauler. It normally just comes with a trailer hitch with a gooseneck flatbed trailer that has a trailer specifically meant for hauling tanks. Okay. Rocks suck in this game. Go backwards. Now, I guess you could go as far as to say, like, as far as the trailer hitch attachment goes, in real life, just behind the cab, it has these 2 gigantic, you know, 20,000-pound rated winches, you know, all mounted up on like this, like, utility module. So you could say it's like an extra repair kit, you know, in front of a trailer hitch that can carry a trailer, well, a gooseneck trailer, kind of like the new garage trailer that we got with the Valley DLC. Just had a brain fart. So it carries a trailer almost exactly like the new garage trailer. So there's really nothing we can really talk about as far as the USA expansion goes, because it's only just been confirmed that, yeah, we're going to be making one. There's no information about it at all. So all we can really do is just go off speculation and, you know, assumptions as to what possibly might be included. So, if you agree with my vehicle picks, or if you disagree with them, or hell, even if you have like some alternate picks in mind, like what you think would probably the most likely vehicle pick as far as American military vehicles go, just list them down in the comments below and let everyone else know what your thoughts might be. Just kind of expand on this whole idea. But now there's only one thing as far as all these military vehicles go. There's just one thing that doesn't add up, because here in America we don't use military vehicles as our logging trucks. The big name vehicle manufacturers that even so much as even manufacture big log trucks are, what is it, Peterbilt, Kenworth, and even well, actually no, I think that's it, Peterbilt and Kenworth, or no, even Caterpillar, you know, the big old engine manufacturer Caterpillar. They design their own trucks too. release. So, if they were still to go along the lines of military trucks, like I haven't really ever seen any military truck that that was reconfigured to be a log hauler. It's always been like these Peterbilt, you know, practically road semi-trucks. They're not really meant for off-road. They just go down like dirty, muddy roads, and that's pretty much it. They don't do anything extreme like what we do with these Russian trucks. Because in Russia, well, like a majority of the population in Russia, they buy and use these decommissioned military trucks on a daily basis. Hell, some of them even use them as their daily drivers. So it's like for them, they purposely reconfigure these military trucks as log haulers, whereas in America, it's like the only military vehicle I've ever seen haul logs is the Het, the Oshkosh M1070, the Het. You can find images and even videos of people using them as log haulers, and that's the only military vehicle I've seen haul logs. But of course, you know, it's a video game. You know, it's Spintires Mudrunner. I mean, they can do whatever the hell they want. It doesn't mean that you can't just make up attachments and stuff, but hell, I mean, it's not like the attachments wouldn't fit. So, as far as that goes, that's all I can really think of as far as the USA expansion goes. I mean, that's my idea of what the possible vehicles that would be added as far as the USA expansion goes. So, I mean, if you have any other ideas, like I said, you know, you can listen down below, but this is all just my personal opinion and speculation and even assumptions as far as what the USA expansion would be like, you know, maps, vehicles, and whatnot. So, I guess until they give us some further information, that's going to be the opinion I'd stick with, and I think a majority of people would hope that the vehicle, like some of the vehicles I mentioned, would probably be the ones that they add to the game. So, without further ado, you don't have to subscribe, you don't have to like, you can comment all you want, and I guess, until next time, see you whenever.